Elizabeth.
Promise me.
I will stop him.
No. That is an oath you cannot keep. But promise me that if it comes to it, you will not let him take me back.
You will fight him at some point during the game. He's, he exists both, like Elizabeth, he exists both in the gameplay space and in the narrative space. The parts we showed you today, obviously, were more in the narrative space. Obviously, he and Elizabeth have a complicated relationship. He was her only, he was her only companion and her jailer. It's a very strange combination to have. She knew there was nobody else in her life for 15 years, and so there's a connection there. But she's also, she's not a child. She also wants things out of life. She wanted to. What is it? What do we all want when we're growing up? We want to control our destiny. That's what growing up is. And so it's sort of like a leaving the nest story to some degree for her, but it's also strange and dark and weird because he's obviously, whether he has these feelings or he's conditioned to have these feelings, he feels betrayed. It's not just his job, obviously. He obviously feels betrayed by her. And so he's coming after her, and Booker is the guy that took her away. You are the guy who took her away. And so that thing is gunning for you. And it's an interesting dynamic.
No, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. That's him!
That's the internal guidance. How we talk about him is that this is a dysfunctional. Like I dated a girl once who had an ex-boyfriend who was abusive to her, and all those cliches you hear about those relationships are true. She kept blaming herself for it. He's not that bad a guy, and I knew she'd get back with him, and she did. I absolutely knew it because there was this weird, crazy bond between the two of them that I didn't understand, and there's obviously a connection between Elizabeth and the songbird, and the relationship is very complicated. And she obviously wants to leave, but he's all she knew. And he's obviously, that, like you said, when he shows up there, he's the angry ex-boyfriend. He's looking at Booker like, you're the one. He feels betrayed by Elizabeth, and he looks at Booker, you're the guy who ruined my life, It's not just, and to get that across in a giant, like 30-foot tall bird creature, it's been a challenge. But otherwise he's just a monster. If you don't give him, he needs to have a place in this world. Besides just, he's a flying monster. And because why is he a character then? He's just a thing. Since the demo originally started with the songbird appearing outside the window, and then I was like, no. In the middle of the process, like, I want to do this. I want to make sure I want to really ground this in a very traditional Bioshock moment. So going through an abandoned store looking for loot, what's more Bioshock than that, right? And so, but what's different here is Elizabeth's with you. You're not alone, you're not just a solitary guy, silent, solitary guy. So it was an opportunity to really explore that relationship, and not in a big dramatic scene, but just them hanging out together. What's that like? What does that mean when Booker's talking and Elizabeth's talking? They're interacting with each other, and we have to make that happen dynamically. That's not a scripted sequence. We have to say, like, we have a lot of sort of systems that would be like, okay, if Booker goes here, and if Elizabeth's available, and the Booker, she'll say this, and then we'll cross that off the list of things she can say. It's a pretty complicated system. So she can just sort of do things in the ambient space. We have a lot of tools to sort of make things happen. A lot of things where the AI sort of are talking to each other and saying, hey, can we make this happen? And then they sort of make it happen, if they can, because that's instead of just scripting it out. We have a lot of things so that just like AI sort of see opportunities and take advantage of them. I'll go into more of that later. But I want to start the demo very much with, this is a very traditional Bioshock experience, but this is what that experience is like in Bioshock Infinite. When Tony asked me to speak of that thing, I said, look, it's pretty early days on each of these things. Are you sure you want me to speak? Because I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to say, like, look, I don't got a lot to tell you right now. You sure you want me to go up on that stage? And they're like, yeah, well, look, we just want you to tell the truth. You know, what's going on with you? So I did, you know, and where we are with Move is basically I'm experimenting with a lot of stuff. Those experiments may turn out to be awesome. They may turn out to be okay. They may turn out to blow up in my face. The nice thing about Move, as compared to some other things, is that you can put a firewall. You know what a firewall is?
Security one?
Yeah, but you can put like an intellectual firewall between the control scheme that we all love and know and the Move stuff. And if you don't like what's on this side of the firewall, you never have to experience it. You just ignore it, right? Because I want to protect this side. In case if the experiment blows up, I don't want to damage what I know and love. So that's there. That's in zone. And I think Killzone showed that you could do that, right? No fucking way I'm going to risk what I know to try this experiment. Now that said, I think experiments are important. I think they're very important because if we don't experiment, we don't progress. So I'll try a bunch of stuff and I think there's some really cool ideas we have. And I think it can turn out to be really cool. I can't promise you, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. And at very least, if you think it's not cool, guess what? Just don't use it. And that's it.
Correct.
And I guarantee you, the support from Sony is going to make the product better. Like, the whole product will benefit from the support from Sony, and we get to do things like our little side fun dream project that we've been wanting to do for a long time. This little thing we've been kicking around, which I can't really say anything about, but it's just like we've been kicking around for a long time, and it's gonna people are gonna be like, what? That's crazy, you know? Yeah. We're gonna make it for the Vita. That's all I can say about it.